All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to week 2 of the Team Swain Baddie Overwatch League.
Microphone
I'm
muted.
AJS0, joined to you today with TK Thrifty. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Ready for another week of the Baddie Overwatch League.
Yeah, this
Excited
is
to see how this goes.
looking like a pretty exciting matchup here. We got the April Wizards, aka Team Zedekis, going up against Bone Zone with Jim Bone being the team captain. And after week 1, I would say these are the two teams that it's hard to see how they stack up. April Wizards um, wrecked my team last week pretty bad. We didn't score a single point. And Bone Zone was a little more competitive, but still fairly outclassed by Sadistic Autistic. And this will give us a bit clearer of a picture of where these teams stack up.
Yeah, no, this week was really, last week was really hard for us to get a picture exactly of how it went, because we really just had two teams that, it's the first week, so you never know what's going to go up, and we had two teams that just played better than the other team, and they were able to get a very large majority of the points. And so now this week we'll actually get to see. Unfortunately, we don't have the head-to-head with the two teams that scored a lot of points last week, but we get to see who they played against and how they stack up.
Yeah, and if you go off of preseason predictions, everyone expected Sadistic Autistic to probably be the front runners, at least at the start of the season. And depending on how this game goes, we might have an idea if April Wizards are kind of here to play, or if it's going to be these two kind of duking it out for second place, through this first month of the season.
Yeah, no, that'll definitely be a big choosing point. This April Wizards team, definitely not one to underestimate. They looked really, really strong last week, and they have a lot of really good players. They do have Chromatic as well, the #1 pick for the league.
Yeah, and he fucking went off last week, just dropping multi-kills left and right, no matter what hero he was playing.
Mostly that Genji. Terrifying.
Yeah, he's definitely lived up to the hype so far. And we're going to see him going up against the other big name, 30, who didn't look quite as good in week 1. He was fine, but not, a 3K player like, I guess, his team needs him to be.
Yeah.
So it looks like April Wizards are content to kind of give up the bend here. They're going to try to hold by big Earls, which is a strategy people did closer to launch. I haven't seen it as much recently.
Oh, thanks for coming up a nice flanking behind, but...
Yeah, that was, I don't know what he was hoping to accomplish there. It was not a good flank.
No, it looked like he was no one noticed him there, but then just immediately everyone turned to put him down.
Yeah, it's really rough when you're giving up the entire first bend here. No, that's a big pick and a hook and a pick on a Chromatic. And last round's gonna go down as well, so it's just Zed's Ana with not a lot of health trying to be the solo healer here. And if they lose this fight, which they're already outmanned in, but there's a nice Graviton surge into the shooter die, Reinhardt hammered down, and they're actually gonna win this fight. 5v6, I believe Think Twice had gotten back just in time for that fight.
Yeah. That combination of ults just absolutely wrecked. The Ana ulted,
there's some really late picks going on here. 30 gets picked off, and Jimbone ends up making it out, but he gets taken low there. Under his healers. But that was a really big hold for April Wizards, because when you don't try to hold the first bend, you just try to hold the big Earls. You essentially have one team fight, or you just give up the first point. And when they got multiple picks there, I would have assumed that was going to happen, but they popped good ults, they win a 4v6.
Yeah. They had they had 3 very high impact ults there, and they used them on succession. The Zarya, Reinhardt, and Ana ult.
Here comes the nano boost onto Jim. The D.Va ult's coming in deep, and that's a 3K to start the fight for Bone Zone. Think Twice with an awful Death Blossom that gets immediately canceled by dying.
My ultimate is charging.
And really nice push out of Bone Zone, who turned a pick onto Blaboor at the start into what looks like it's going to be the first point here. Blaboor's going to try to solo contest and just lay them right. Oh, actually, Chromatic comes in on the flank. He picks up T-Mix, but that ain't enough. And that is the first point capped. And a lot of ult charge given away for free by the April Wizards, who did not seem content to give that point up gracefully.
Yeah. That's... I was saying that Anna Reinhardt combo just always so strong, especially if you have a conjunction with like another good like either CC or like zone control ultimate.
Yeah, think twice on this Reaper. He is looking so hard to make these flank plays. This is just way too crazy out of Think Twice. And there he is. He's coming in. He's had to pop his Wraith form very early. And April Wizards are just leading position on this map here. As Think Twice just wants to be annoying in the back line.
I mean, this Bone Zone squad is staying so tight overall. They're finally starting to break off a little bit, but before they've been so tight, it's really hard for Reaper to be effective when all 6 people are on top of each other like that if he doesn't have ult. And...
And here comes the Graviton Surge on Bulldog just before he dies. A lot of ults out of April Wizards. The Lucio ult out of Gallier, though, should save some lives. It's just 30 down so far. But also just with Booer on the opposing team, turning into a real staggered fight here.
Jim's quietly moving the cart.
Yeah, Jim gains a few feet there, but it's gonna be a loss for the Bone Zone. But probably not the end of the world for them. They didn't load too many ults there. Just Albino Joe dropping the Diva.
Yeah.
And Gallier dropping the Piece. They have the other 4 ults available. Although there are also 3 on April Wizards.
I was saying, yeah, we're looking like a really high possibility of another 7 or 8 ult fight.
And there's a hook on the Chromatic again. Mutek has had his number in a few big pushes this game. And now 30's setting up the high noon. Wants to get a pick. Not going to find on the back line. There we go. See, Think Twice finally dropping in, but he only gets 1 kill with the Death Blossom, although he does escape out of this one. Heart not quite being contested enough. April Wizards didn't really commit to using all of their ults there. And they're going to give up the second point here on Route 66.
Looking really good, actually. Utek, I have to say, I've been very impressed by. He's been on point with these hooks. Like every time I've noticed him getting a hook, it's always like right at the end or like right at the beginning of a fight, and it's just really fucking with the tempo of the game.
Yeah. So the one thing to watch for here, there's not a ton of time remaining, and April Wizards are 8% away from having 5 ults available to the 0 on Bone Club. They need to not give up so much ground for free here, because they need to take advantage of the fact that there's only going to be, maybe 3 fights remaining in this game. But they just don't get on the cart. I don't know what they're waiting for. You already have 5 of your ults, guys. They're just letting free charge come, and here we go. 30 gets to pick on the Chromatic. That's really big. All the ults are coming out of the April Wizards here, but they're not getting any kills. They're just getting outplayed in this fight. And now Advanable is going on to Jim, and he's going ham. The Graviton Surge is going to buy time, but is not going to secure anything. And it looks like April Wizards just waited too long to contest the points. Like, they had a 5-0 ult advantage.
Ooh.
Well, some spawns might have come in time. 3.5 meters to play here as April Wizards start bum rushing this point.
Shooter Die had a beautiful Reinhardt ult there. Just caught the entire team and then got to slide through all of them. He got so much work done. Basically, he had a 3 or 4K there on that fight without the Ana ult. That's not something you see all that often as a Reinhardt.
Yeah, and that was a very extended kind of fight going on. There's 30 seconds remaining. The only ults up is going to be Albino Joe with the Diva Mech Explosion.
That's a really good one though for trying to squeeze in like the last few feet. Like that and like May one or like the 2 with the May and Roadhog are like 2 ones I always think that's like, oh, we need to get the cart 4 feet. Perfect.
Yeah, there we go. Albino Joe is tossing the ult in, but it's too high. No, it's actually going to get 2 kills. Both the healers are down for the April Wizards, and they have to be careful. They are getting really far away from this cart. They just need to keep bodies on the cart. Shooter Die with the hammer down is going to stall here, and Chromatic is tracing on the cart. Now, Think Twice is in as well. But 2 of those 3 are down. It's just Think Twice and there he goes. Cart pushing. 30 gonna try to zone with the high noon. And oh no! Last
Val's gonna get on now.
Onto the cart. Oh, before it gets stuck. No,
Reinhardt's coming in now, but no, just a little too slow.
slow win, but an offense win for the Bone Zone. Get all 10 points for that half of the map. And I think the biggest thing I noticed over the course of that first map was it didn't seem like the April Wizards were willing to contest the card enough. There was a lot of times where they just wanted to get the perfect setup, and they would give up so much ground at once before finally picking the team fight, especially there on the way to the last points. They had 5 ults available, and they gave up probably 2/3 of the grounds between those points just for free. And they let Bone Zone Pope. April Wizards wasn't getting anything on the Pope because they already had 5 ults charged.
Yeah. No, and then when they did decide to pull the trigger, especially on that 5 ult time, it was just so forced, and they didn't get much out of it, and they actually just lost. Like, they lost a fight where they expended ults, and Bone Zone did not. And that's never what you want to see happen.
Yeah, that was definitely kind of the momentum shift there. But good play out of Bone Zone. They did a great job of playing around the cart and playing well both with their ults and between their ults.
Yeah. I have to say, I mean, I was really impressed that they were able to like stay all 6 on the cart the entire time, yet somehow not fall to some of the really big combos overall of like Graviton Surge, Reinhardt. I mean, it did get them a few times, but like not that often. Obviously, they were able to pick up the whole 10 points.
Alright, so support picks will be a little different here. We got Gallon here playing the defensive Mercy for Bone Zone, so keep an eye on that for the res. It looks like they are also going to sit back and try to hold big girls here. On the flip, we got Jim going in on the Reinhardt, trying to put down some damage, but not going to do a whole lot there. But he's going to get a nice hit onto Blabur. And Zedek is going to go down as well there to some pot shots from 30, but even though they have man advantage...
The cart's still moving.
No one from Bone Zone is getting on that cart.
Well, they don't have any buys on it. Utek's trying to get over there, but he's currently engaged last down in Chromatic, and he's going to go down now. There we go. Now people are finally getting pulled away from the cart, though.
Yeah, that was some really awkward ground to give up, but shouldn't end up being too decisive.
The thing is, they still get this last spin around at Earl's, so they still have a decent point to like try and contest here.
Yeah,
and the cart is riding back.
Definitely watch though. Bone Zone are in a much better ult economy right now. Just a few percentage points away from having 5 ults here to the 3 available for April Wizards.
Yeah, but the 3 from April Wizards are very high impact. Oh, here we go.
There's the Graviton Surge, and T-Mix is going to go down before... No, he does get an ult off, but I didn't see on the who. But that's 2 picks down really fast at the start of this fight. And no one going for the Mercy, and there's the big 3-man res out of the Mercy. Now the cart being pushed forward here, I don't think that res is going to be enough.
Yeah, the problem was that if there wasn't for that Reinhardt ult, that res would have been gigantic. But unfortunately, they all got res and they were all just immediate Reinhardt ulted down. And that's your life.
That turns into the first point for the Bone Zone. Despite 4 members of April Wizards currently being on fire.
I'm ready to initiate self-destruct sequence.
Yeah, I think Twice's gonna get picked off early here. I didn't catch if he got hooked or just got, but there goes Albino Joe, just gonna get Blabur, but that's still a nice pick that gives a chance to contest here for the for the Bone Zone as they're pushing onto the cart. And they've kind of zoned April Wizards off, and now there we go, the engage coming in. Jim with the hammer down, gonna create a lot of time. 30 and Utek gonna pick up a kill apiece. And they didn't have to expend a lot of ults, just 2 for this fight. And now there comes the Graviton Surge.
My ultimate is charging.
Yeah, another nice hold out of Bone Zone.
Yeah. And the clock is starting to get a little low.
Yeah, they don't have all day, although April Wizards are in a better spot with all two. They've got 4 really close. They've got 5 now to just 2 on the other team. But Zedekis is going to go down before he's able to pop the Transcendence. Last Talon's going to pop the beats, and they're just trying to create some ground here, but they have been zoned off of this card. They get Think Twice, though. But there comes another big hammer down on the back end on a Jim. He is fucking up everybody in his way right now.
Jim is leading his team by example. It's the Bone Zone. Jim Bones, Bone Zone. And oh my goodness. That hammer down just crushed that push in all of its dreams.
Jim's gonna
explosive fight. I mean, we're looking at a lot of alt charges still getting pretty high. We're looking at almost 4 for April Wizards.
Yeah, they're close on the Graviton Surge as well. But Zedekis popping the Transcendence pretty early in this fight. Only 1 on the cart so far, but it is being moved by April Wizards.
Yeah, High Noon, however, is not going to be more than 130. Try to get anything going on there. Oh.
And there we go. Now here comes the Albino Joe tossing him the self-destruct, and that's going to pick up 2. He gets Zedekis and Think Twice, and Jim putting down a ton of damage while he is nano boosted. He gets 2 kills of his own, and finally drops the hammer on the back end before dying. Big Raz out of Galley. The entirety of Bone Zone is alive here. And True Guy's going to drop kind of a desperate hammer down. He's not really in position to capitalize on it, and he's going to die accordingly. But the cart is not moving because that team is on defense.
Yep. Yes, it is.
And now, kind of desperation comes in. A huge Graviton Surge comes out of Chromatic, though. But 30, a nice zoning High Noon. He gets last down.
Mercy. Oh, and Diva.
And it got bodies on the card, but it's going to be tough to contest here. The nano boosted Jim trying to put down some damage. He gets the kill onto Zed, but ult's going to wear off and he's going to die. Cart being moved again by the April Wizards.
We're going to see Diva and Mercy should be able to contest this, though. So
yeah, they've got some time to spare. Diva, one of the best heroes in the game for just stalling on the cart. And no one is going for Galleon, going for the target on the cart, and that might kind of cost them. Albino Joe buys a ton of time before dying. But no one's dropping down this guy. Here comes the High Noon out of 30, but he's just going to get eaten by a Reinhardt shield. Oh no, 30's going to get 2 kills there. And that's actually going to be enough. It zones him off the cart, and that's a win. For
Shooter Guy tried to use Hammer down, and it brought his shield down, and 30 just capped him.
Yeah, that was great from 30, just sitting there waiting for the misplay, and the misplay walks right into his lap. Given a nice, only 1 point given up by Bone Zone.
Alright, time to see that play of the game.
And yeah, not surprised it's going to be Shooter Guy.
I figured it was one of the Reinhardts.
He had quite a few good ults here. And yeah, this one real early on defense. Yep. Just bam, bam, bam. You know, I've seen Shooter Guy make more plays on Reinhardt in the past 4 maps for his team than I've seen him make in probably the 8 years I've known him playing other video games. Been very impressed by him so far in the Reinhardt.
He's been a solid Reinhardt.
Yeah, he's really earned himself a starting position on April Wizards, and everyone just kind of assumed it was a given he would be the bench player for that team. But if you can play Reinhardt and Lucio, those are the 2 heroes in this game that you can play 100% of time. So good on him, kind of forcing his way into the starting lineup there, because he has been making the most of it so far.
However, it was not enough to get his team the win for that map.
Yeah, so it's going to be a 17-3 win so far for the Bone Zone. But as
wait, 17? You said 17-3?
Yeah.
Nice, good start for them. Oh, did we ever? You might know this better than I, as you're on the team captains. Did we ever decide on is 2-0ing? What is the state of 2-0ing on the neutral point objectives?
I don't think we made a decision.
Okay.
That is currently being discussed behind the scenes and
User
maybe
joined your
applied retroactively. We don't know. But going into the ball here, where there might be 20 points at stake, there might be 30. Who knows? One thing we do know from the Overwatch League experience is that sometimes teams that suck on the payload maps get a lot better when you put them on King of the Hill.
Yeah, I mean there are 3 general types of maps here, so and they definitely do require different skill sets.
Yeah, so looking at this initial hero selection, something a little different coming out of UTEC, covering that Winston right now. Otherwise, a lot of players in this game have been really sticking with one hero. We've seen Shooter Die playing that Reinhardt, Vital Joe playing that Diva, Zedekis playing. Well, a lot of these guys have been sticking between 2 heroes, and I think that's going to be kind of normal. Galnir switching between 2 heroes, Zed switching between 2 heroes, healers, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see a few people doing a bit more, but really, having 3 heroes when you only have the 1 hero limit is not, I mean, that'll get stuff done. That's what you need.
Yeah, so Bone Zone going in on the far side here. Trying to step a play, but they're just forcing themselves into needing to retake this point, which is now unlocked. And a nice advantage out of the April Wizards. Watch Blue's coming down the flank, trying to put down some damage on that Diva.
Nobody's down yet, though.
Mid-charge.
That could make or break whoever wins this fight. We're getting close to seeing the first ult. Oh,
Pioneer comes out early, but doesn't get anybody. That's big. You can ult that fast and lose it. Yeah, now ults are starting to come. Both support ults are up for April Wizards. You're gonna pop the beats.
Evo, lots of people going down now. That's 3 down for April Wizards, 1 down for Gym Zone, Stone Zone. People are spawning and they're rejoining the fight as well.
Yeah, but Bone Club looking like they're slowly.
Go over to Gym Bone's Bone Zone.
But that's a Diva on the point. Diva's gonna buy a lot of time here. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're trickling in. That's the first. Oh.
But Shooter Die with a big hammer drop. But oh, he's only gonna get 1 kill just on the Team Xana there. And it's going to be a cap for the Bone Zone.
This would help. My ultimate is ready.
And a lot of ults available, and yeah, it looks like last time he's gonna pop the preemptive beat, but his team is not on the same page as him. Those shields are gonna wear out before the team even gets in position to fight. And what? There is a Reaper coming on the flank here. Graviton surge into the Reaper ult, but it does not turn into any kills somehow. But man, those health bars dropping so fast for the Bone Club, but not quite dying yet. They've still somehow got 4 people alive, and they all left the points. Yeah, they ended up just walking out. Good capitalize from April Wizards.
35% is not a bad hold, but it's definitely not ideal for the first hold.
My ultimate is almost ready.
No, it's just really surprising that they still had 4 alive. They had a man advantage, and they just all stepped off the point, running around looking for health back, looking to fall back.
Yeah, so
now UTEC gonna try to break the line. Nano boost.
High strength from Thinkfry is gonna pick up Falconer with a high noon.
Yeah, now why don't you go? Not gonna get anything with that Diva ult, but they did create some pressure. That's 3 kills already for the April Wizards. As Chromatic's trying to be the hero, his entire team's falling around him, but it's not looking like that's gonna happen. And he's gonna back off. Well, no, he's not gonna back off because he's a Chromatic. He's a man. Gonna put the sticky bomb and not get a kill with it. He goes down in a recap for the April Wizards. And They're in a good place here on ults as well. They've got 3 available.
We give Vlad and Price and Last Talent all looking for this flank on the side. It looks like most of their team is going over there. Besides Zedekis trying to sit back, get a couple snipes on the heels.
There we go. Blabur shoots in the mech, and he's going to get
both
both support from the bone zone. This is going to be big. The beat gets shot by Last Talent. They're getting flanked, but it shouldn't matter. They have a big man advantage right now, as they're kind of holding in a retake. And yeah, they've already capped the point.
And now it's just time to play cleanup on the remaining members of Bone Zone. 30's going to try and run away, but I doubt we'll see him escape.
My ultimate is ready.
Now this is
Alright.
really close to a tie game. Both these teams at about 2/3.
Yep.
Watch out, there are a lot of ults coming up for Bone Club. They are just a few percent away from having all 6 ults available. So just the 2 coming out of April Wizards. They have to make this count, though. Yes, it will. And Winston and the Diva Mech coming in to start clearing off the point. Last Talent goes down. It's 1 hero down. That's both healers down for the April Wizards. And now here comes the rest of the Bone Club. They're getting their bodies on the point so fast. And the Grab Hunter is going to get the remaining members of April Wizards buy some time here. But a lot of members of Bone Club have dropped down. Now it's Chromatic and Big Choice, the damage line alive, but Big Choice is going to go down for free. Chromatic is going to step off, and he's going to end up giving up that point instead of opting to buy time.
This Winston pick's been really, really nice. Just because of that, you don't need to aim. That's like the hardest part about Tracer. Just being able to hit her when she's just moving around all the time. And
So not a lot of time remaining. This is probably the decisive fight, and it's only 1 ult available.
Because the clock's going to go up during the fight the entire time.
Yep, watch for Shooter Guy's Hammer Knight. He's going to get 3 people with it. Now Shooter Guy's going in. He's very low on health though, but no one's shooting him. And he gets the kill on a team. Jim goes down as well. This is a good start as ults get charged from the April Wizards. They've got a 4K and counting. Albino's going to lose the mech, and quickly after his life, and it's just UTech in, I'm not sure where lands, giving up this point, and that is going to be map 1 of Nepal for the April Wizards in a nail biter.
Yeah. Really, really tense game, back and forth. That was nice. We saw the point go back like flip-flop 5 times. It was really, both those teams are very, very close to being able to take it. But then April Wizards will start off getting 10 points, closing the gap.
Yeah, that's got to feel a lot better after the way they started on Route 66.
Yeah. No, that's really big.
And if you're Bone Zone, that's got to be kind of frustrating. That's one of the toughest parts about playing King of the Hill is it doesn't matter how close things are. You can lose 199 and you don't get a single point for your efforts.
Yeah, King of the Hill is very straight, clean 10, 20 points. So, getting 2-0'd on King of the Hill can be very brutal. One that, as the other team just gets a clean 20-0 to you.
So, point opening, and it's looking like April Wizards going to be the first team to establish onto the point. Albino Joe going in to not give this up for free, but watch out, Chromatic is available on the flank, and 30's going to actually get picked off to start this fight. And Chromatic's putting down a lot of disruption on the back ends. And Chromatic's, gonna pick up 2 kills. That's 3 kills for the April Wizards. 4, 5. Oh, Chromatic just going off in this first fight. And that's a first cap for the April Wizards.
Yep. Now to see how they can do this, how they'll be able to hold.
Looking like Bone Club gonna go for the drop, coming in as it's seen here. And they actually get a big flank coming. They have pulled April Wizards very far away from where Shooter died and set up his defense. And here come all the ults. There could be a big self-destruct in the back end. 2 kills, both of the supports for Blabur. How many of these Diva ults are going to kill supports? This is looking good for Bone Club. It's just Blabur on the point right now, trying to buy time as much as he can, but he goes down, and that is gonna be a cap for Bone Zone. That was just a really awesome way they started that fight. They managed to get a surprise flank off and just kind of destroyed the defense that April Wizards had set up, and that turned into a 1-2 fight for them. Ooh, big pick on the Chromatic to start this next fight though. Star player down for April Wizards. But UTech is gonna get picked kind of for free there. Not too sure what happens. And that kind of throws away the advantage they had for Chromatic, but
Microphone activated.
Bone Zone still kind of holding this point, but here come the picks out of the April Wizards. Chromatic going in, getting onto this point. Now a Nano Boost going on to Think Twice, looking to maybe make a Beyblade play, but he's probably going to be able to save the Death Blossom here as April Wizards capped with not a whole lot of ults expended. Just the Nano Boost on that one, and now they're pushing forward real smart here out of the Wizards, who have ult advantage for this next fight, currently sitting on 4, almost 5.
Yeah, and once again, they managed to almost tie it up there. Both teams were at roughly 50% before it went back to April Wizards again.
Yeah, they've fallen really far back here. Now watch out, Blabur making a big flank on the Diva. Going to drop the ult, not going to get any kills, but he's going to scatter the Bone Zone. And that lets all of his DPS start capitalizing, and they get 3 kills really fast here on a scattered Bone Zone, who now no longer have a lot of time to work with, 90% here. And Bone Zone gonna get a few picks, but they might be too far from this point. Trying to rush to the point, and UTech is gonna get there in time. A Nano Boost goes onto UTech, and April Wizards got too scattered when they tried to push deep, and they give up the point.
Yeah, they killed 4 right there at the end when it was most important they hold it. And just like that, Bone Zone has a chance at this again.
Yeah, now both Zone teams sitting with 4 ults available. Watch out, a self-destruct going out early here. Not going to get any kills, but Bone Zone are really pushing the April Wizards back here. Watch out, the Chromatic coming in on the flank. He puts out a sticky bomb, gonna hit Albino Joe, but not turn into a kill here as he's kind of zipping around the fight. And Bone Zone, April Wizards don't have a lot of time to work with here. They've charged some ults, but both teams have a handful of ults available. And there we go. We got a hammer down coming here on the flank. Shooter die, getting out of the point. He's popping his hammer down, and we have 2 people falling to their deaths for the April Wizards.
Oh man. That looks like it.
Yeah. And a game that a map that looked like it was won by the April Wizards gonna misplay, getting aggressive, and it's gonna cost them map 2 on Nepal. Rough.
Both of these rounds on this King of the Hill map have been super close.
Yeah, I was, right before I thought April Wizards were going to end there, I was thinking about how big it was to lose a map 3-17, but then come back in 20-0 on King of the Hill. But they're not going to be able to pull that off after one bad, really, play.
Yeah, and there are still 10 points, at least with how we're currently scoring this, there are 10 points still up for grabs here, so that would almost tie up these 2 teams if April Wizards could manage to take it. They'd be at a very minor disadvantage here in points going into the 3rd map.
Chromatic is on that Tracer again. He was really going off last map, so definitely keep an eye on him, who's already getting pretty aggressive on his flank. But Bone Zone has been the first team to establish on the point here, as their Reinhardts just aggressively face with each other, shields with each other, And
Ooh, they
April Wizards did get this point really late here, but Chromatic with a 2K with the
Microphone
pulse
muted.
bomb. Gonna keep this off his life for it, but it's going to be for a lot as April Wizards established and captured this point.
That is the third time in a row. They've always been able to be the team winning that first fight and getting the first point.
Raise my APS.
Yeah, that's really impressive because I feel like they've been having to retake the points every game, and they've been doing it. You know, they're not a team that rushes it in the first 10 seconds. They get a little more creative with their starts, but Chromatic gonna get picked off before this fight begins. Looking good for Bone Zone, who, as soon as Chromatic goes down, just give up this point. Don't even try to contest 5v6.
That's a
kind
nice
of a surprise.
Around like just over 20% for April Wizards.
You know, watch out the nano boosted Jim coming in on the flank as Reinhardt got a lot of pressure. He only gets 2 with the hammer down, but he's putting down such a deep zone here. Meanwhile, his team's going to pick up 2 kills on the other side of the fight. Another good-looking fight for the Bone Zone, who have held this points.
They'll pull into the lead.
Not a lot of ults available going into this fight. Both Divas, along with Shooter Dive's hammer down.
Ooh,
It looks
shoot
like
eye.
Oh, Albino Joe gets the 3K with the self-destruct. And
That's a nice free 12 to 15% for that ult.
yeah,
That sleep from T-Mech was beautiful though. Shooter Dio ready to normally put up the shield and protect his team from the Diva ult. Unfortunately took a nap right at the base of it.
we're kind of setting up on a really deep flank while Chromatic goes in on the other side, but that's going to turn into 2 more picks for the Bone Club. This is just too aggressive of flanking coming out of the April Wizards, as it looks like Bone Club is going to hold this point again. 1 for 3 so far. And Zedek is going to give himself up in desperation there. There is not much time available. They pretty much have to rush this point before Zedek is going to even be available. No, that really hurts the last round got picked. That might be the final nail in the coffin because now there is not a support available for this final, what could have been an attempted 5v6. And it looks like they're just not getting out of this point. No, actually, a hammer down comes out Judai. Chromatic and Labur both get on this point. They're at least buying time. They get a kill on a teammate, but there comes the self-promote of Labur, gonna clear this point off. And Shudai, the only one with the sense to stand on the point there, as his team almost loses the game. But this is turning into picks fast for the Mercy Wizards. Sorry, the April Wizards as they zone all the Bone Club off, and they cap the point.
I mean,
My ultimate is charging.
yeah, they did it. That was the last chance they had to take it, so now they got, can they run it back? We did see Bone Zone run it back all the way last game, so April Wizards may have a chance to return the favor.
Here comes the engage. They get a pick on a UTech right away to start this one off, and there comes a big hammer down out of Jim on the point. Graviton Surge going to get 3, but not a lot of damage follow up, but it doesn't matter because the Bone Club already winning this fight. Now it's just Chromatic versus the world. He goes down on the point, and this is going to be a recap for Bone Club. No one on the April Wizards is going to be close enough, and that's going to be a 2-1 victory on the ball for the Bone Zone.
And that pretty much guarantees them or does it completely guarantee them? Yeah, that guarantees them the win for the night.
Yep, but I think I am about to get kicked because we are restarting a router, so I will be right back. I'll let you guys take over here.
Alright.
Microphone activated.
Okay then. I guess I'm here now.
Yep, welcome back. Welcome back.
Just, dodging in and out.
Yeah. You know, being a little flexible, we're making it work though. If they're restarting the router, though, I imagine we'll have a delay in between this next match, as
Yeah,
Etiquette is one of the
obviously,
players.
because not only our caster, but at least one player is out. So
Yeah.
they must have been getting some lag there. So
I do remember them about 30 minutes before the start of tonight. They commented about some lag. So,
all
my
right.
guess
User
is
in
that
your
it
channel
returned
timed
that
out.
last setup, that last round.
And last map is going to be Kings Row.
Yep. Oh man, I hope that it doesn't have Swift or Zed being removed from the lobby. Hopefully, it does not create a problem and have us require a remake.
Yeah, we'll see what we need to do. I mean, thankfully, it's just restarting the router and it wasn't a DC.
Yeah, exactly.
User entered your channel.
And then there he is back.
All right, there goes. There they are.
Yep.
Just takes it a while for it to drop them out.
Yeah. Good old BattleNet.
Alright, I think I am back in and ready to roll here. If I could just get add to the game.
Welcome back. And
Microphone muted.
here you go. Wait a second. Damn. Bone Zone looking good this week.
Yeah, 37-13 currently.
They will win the night regardless of what happens. I mean, it could be a very close week, 37-33, if April Wizards manage to clean sweep Kings Row.
Yeah, but with how close this has been going, I would be very shocked if that happens.
Yeah, no, I imagine it'll probably be pretty close to about 10 points for each team.
And this is a strange week that we're not playing any 2-point maps. I thought that we played one every week, but I was apparently incorrect.
I think things are a little different with how the season is, with us having the extended season now.
I'm no expert. I don't run this league.
Nope, I just play games and occasionally talk about them. So. Alright, so do we have everyone ready or are we waiting on something?
Like we got a check out of. No, we're still waiting for somebody on April Wizards.
Alright.
Now entering King's Row.
Alright. Going to King's Row, looks like we're gonna have. Red's always on offense, right? Is that how it works?
Dragomote. That sums up everything I know about Spectator Client.
Yeah, we'll find out soon. Yeah, Red is on offense, so we're gonna have April Wizards.
May you have an age
Not bringing any May Blizzards on the offense, though.
Yeah, I really think that's kind of been their downfall so far. And props to UTech for having the balls to show them how it's done here on the defense.
After everything that happened, I needed
Yeah, no. He's gonna show them. I mean, for a team with a couple people that main May, it's really surprising to see no May on one of her stronger maps. I mean, she is definitely stronger on the defense, but she's still very effective on offensive as well.
Yeah, it was definitely something just over the course of the two maps that have been played, I would have expected to see out of April Wizards, and we have not so far. Well, we'll see what they've got up their sleeves with this comp. Once again, nothing too drastic from what they've been playing.
Yeah.
As you see, it looks like Bone Zone does not want to hold the first gate with the Reinhardt. They're looking for the May pick instead. UTech patiently biding his time as his team gets poked down. And there the wall gets screwed up. And 30 actually didn't get picked toward it. Zed goes in. And it's going to turn into a
Lots of bodies
full-on
trying to get onto
push
this point, though. And she
out of
has to
April
be able to pick
Wizards.
up both the healers with Chromatic and Bulldor. And
Oh, a nice hammer down as Shooter goes down. Gonna buy a lot of time for his team. They're gonna drop the beats. And this is...
the May Blizzard, though.
Oh, but he's gonna die
He's gonna
dropping it. And his team, I don't think they're gonna get here quite in time.
Even
They
if you
should-
did, you'd trickle in. It's gonna be. They're gonna try, though.
Yeah, but they're gonna get there.
gonna be
Oh,
bad,
Jim
though,
gets
yeah.
onto the point. He contests the point. And now
Oh,
Albino Joe drops the ult. And Blaboor also drops the ult. The Divas combined for 5 kills. But the point gets stepped off of by Albino Joe, and that's gonna be a cap for the April Wizards.
And something I just noticed, while this team looks normal, at first glance, we were incorrect. April Wizards is running a 3-tank comp.
That's not too crazy. I think that's
No.
most common. I mean, it's not super normal by BOL standards where we're all 2-2-2 scrubs, but
Yeah.
what I understand of the 3-tank comp is offense on a payload map is the ideal place to run it because it's so easy to keep gaining ground as you're pushing the cart.
No, it makes sense, and also, like, you don't like. A lot of the way carts get ruined is if someone gets picked. And then things start to go downhill from there. When you have 3 tanks, it's a lot harder.
There's a big Graviton surge coming out of Chromatic. And wow, that was
4K
a
for things
hell
twice.
of a combo.
Reinhardt shield tried to shield from his team, didn't realize it was high noon right behind him.
Last Talon got... No, sorry, he died in the fight. It was Think Twice who made it. Or UTech who made it out. Sorry, I get my teams backwards sometimes here. Gallier was not able to hide away and get a big res there.
And April Wizards have a lot of time to finish up this last point. They got a clean 5 minutes. But this can be a tough point to make that last push.
They are sitting in a good place on also. They're going to have 4 available in a moment here, but Think Twice going to get picked off really early. Zed's going to pop the beat a little too late, and it looks like April Wizards want to go for the 5v4. The board tosses in the mech and gets a 4K! It's just UTech and T-Nick alive for the Bone Zone right now.
And that should be it.
Oh, I have never seen so many Divas get ultimate kills in Overwatch. Like, every game I play, that's just an ult that, you know, maybe creates a little space or, like, establishes a flame. But whether it's with Labur or Albino Joe, these guys are just getting multi-kills left and right all night. And that turns into the game-winning play out of Labur.
Yeah, the second I saw it going up, I was like, wait, they don't have an answer to this. And that is a room where Diva ult is very dangerous. There's not a lot of corners for you to go hide around. Yeah, it looks like you're right, because like we have another 3 tank comp coming out here from the offense now. And the defense is up to drop a tank for May.
You know, one thing I've never understood about King's Row is I'm trying to figure out how crazy this whole anti-Omnic faction is, because they got the graffiti everywhere, but this statue of the robot holding the little kid's hand is in pretty good condition.
Dude, you don't mess with Robo Jesus.
Come out and face me.
Maybe that's it. Just Robo Jesus. You can't even the hooligans in King's Row can't fuck with Robot Jesus.
I have tickets to a show tonight.
All right.
Bone Zone up 47 to 23 after that last one. Gonna try to make it 57-23 here at the first point.
Wait. You mean 47 to 23?
They got
That
10 points
wall's
off
gonna
of that
save
last
Lab.
step.
Ryan Joe is going to take a lot of damage. He's going to go down, find himself in an odd spot.
Yeah, it's a big pick to start from. 6v5 coming in and a good spot. But, oh, teammate gonna get picked off. That really hurts.
Oh, but
Albino Joe
Shooter
going
Guy
down
going to get
too.
a really big swing. Swinging for the fences. Home run, 2 down. Oh, another home run. 3K for Shooter Die.
And a hold out of the April Wizards. That's going to put him into some nice ult charge heading into this next fight.
Shooter Die got that ult really fast for a Reinhardt ult, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That was crazy early.
Reinhardt can really catch people off guard. If he's able to just get into melee range and survive just for a short time, that ult comes insanely fast. And now Jim gets zoned in no man's land, but he's going to get frozen up here. His team is coming in fast to try to save his life, and they're going to. They start establishing a push, but watch out. Yeah, there is a 3-man Graviton Surge coming out, but not going to turn any kills. Behind him, I think Twice not going to do anything right now.
Solo ult, but Shooter Die will go down. Lots of pressure coming onto this point, and it's not looking good for April Wizards.
That's it.
Chromatic Zedekis and Think Twice going to do their best to try and hold it. Zedekis surfing around. Think Twice
Yeah, he's
going
doing
down
it.
next. Zedekis is buying time.
Oh, and Last Talon and Zed both going to go down there.
Yeah.
Last Talon does not get a res off during that fight. And that should be a cart cap for the Bone Zone.
Yeah.
Deadly rights. I shall seize the payload safely. Get behind it. Barrier wall.
So watch out. We got 2 ults on both sides. Quite a few ults closer, actually. A lot of ults coming up as I say that. And there we go. Albino Joe gonna toss in his ult. He ate a lot of room, but no kill. But there comes a huge gravitas turn from Chromatic, who is going on his backside and just trying to lay down damage.
And the res comes out.
And they
That
just
almost
laid.
brutal combo.
Yeah, it feels like it took an ult or 2 more than it should have needed, but that's going to basically be a team kill secured by the April Wizards, who have stopped this card in its tracks for now. But a lot of ults available here, at least both the support ults and about to be the Reinhardt for the Bone Zone.
Yeah, I
Both
mean, you know what
up.
to say though. There's no kill like overkill.
There we go.
Oh,
Both
near
of them
boost
gonna
ults
drop
now.
the
Nano
beat.
boost coming out on the Jim. He's gonna try to go unstoppable. High noon. So we're gonna get ourselves another crazy situation.
Yeah, but turning into a mop-up of the Mercy Wizards slowly but surely. I think. But Chromatic, he is just... It doesn't matter who he's playing. He buys so much time.
Deal out some damage. Now it's
No,
up to
I have to do
Blue,
the
finding
same.
himself in dangerous territory, and down he goes. The only member that did die for the Bone Zone did respawn and is able to rejoin their team.
My ultimate is charged.
Once again, a few ults available going into this next fight.
Yeah, no ults, only 30 ult up for Bone Zone, but they have a lot that are very, very close. So this could be a good 3
Yeah,
to 3
Nano
ult
Boost
game.
coming up right as you speak. And
Roadhog and Reinhardt all coming in soon.
there we go,
Oh.
Jim going deep. Oh, 30 goes down to start this fight off, and now Jim with a huge hammer down.
Jim's hunting this Mercy down though, and he's going to get it and the opposing Reinhardt. But think twice with a massive high noon. Once again.
And just Albino Joe remaining, and he is being zoned way out here. A good fight out of the April Wizards, who have 4 ults going into this next fight as well.
Think twice had another awesome high noon. Like that's twice now that he's just like at the same position, only on different sides. And he's just
Yeah.
getting
Ooh, Shooter Die catches 30 with the Flame Shock.
Fire at will.
And there comes a big Graviton Surge out of Chromatic, getting a lot of bodies.
Bone Zone's about to feel a
And-
lot of pain here. Or not. Oh no.
Yeah, somehow not quite a capitalize out of the April Wizards, who had a good start to that fight. I mean, I guess they're technically winning this fight. It's just not quite the way we expected to see it
It
be.
is a rat race of a fight. Match spread throughout the entire street.
Gallinger is going to drop the beat. Utek is going to pop the whole hog. But Chromatic on the other side gonna put down Graviton Surge just to zone the enemy team away. But this is gonna be another hold out of the April Wizards. And there's now only 35 seconds remaining. And only 1 ult available right now. And yep, gonna be popped onto Jim, who's trying to create pressure. But a big zoning blizzard out of Labour. Only 22 seconds remaining as Jim is doing everything he can on the deep end here. But there's Think Twice on the flank, only gonna get Teemic though. The res comes out of last tail and did not see how many it got.
And that looks like it's now good. Albino Joe and Utek versus the world, but they're getting ran away from the cart.
Yeah, 30
They're
coming in
gonna
on
come
this flank
them
here.
behind. He's gonna try and see what he can
Oh.
do. Shoot and die, and Blue are gonna do their best to keep him off, and down goes 30. Kings Row, however, will get to go over to the April Wizards.
Final score 1-3.
Yeah.
So
That-
Devault's play the game, right? That's
Oh,
the end.
I think that has to be, and if it's not, it should be. Maybe it's the Graviton Surge combo from the fight before, but I really
Maybe
hope
the
it's that
McCree.
Devault.
I think it'd be the McCree otherwise, but
Play of the match.
yeah.
And yep, it's gonna be Think Twice. So this is the ult that sets up the second to last points. As Think Twice coming on the flank, big Graviton Surge. Look at those red dots. Bam, 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 bam. God bless America.
Yeah.
And that was just an awesome minute and a half out of the April Wizards. on that play for offense. Graviton Surge into Deadeye, and then a self-destruct. Just super clean capping of those last 2 points. And a good night out of the Bone Zone, but not quite as dominant as this started. But you can definitely walk away happy with a 41-29.
Especially with this was a team that picked up a clean 60-0 last week that they played against. So, it could be way, way worse.
Microphone activated.
All right, guys, we're
All right,
going
guys.
to get ready for our next match that I'm pretty sure everyone in here is playing in, so we'll see you in a few minutes.